Creativity. What is it? That is the question this podcast has sort of tried to answer. Let's talk about it. This episode is live on location. Yes, we have explored creativity in a case study kind of way. I ask people I consider, since it's my podcast, people I consider creative about what they do. As you know, we have talked to folks who are in many different walks of life: scholars, humorists, storytellers, actors, filmmakers, several of them, a poet, lots of fiction writers, a couple of visual artists. I'm working on more of those. Some musicians. I'm also working on more of those. Some folks in nonprofits, college professors, a mom, an entrepreneur. How do I know they are creative? Honestly, because of their output, their work. I hate to say it, but just claiming to be creative is not usually going to work. Part of being creative is that other people confirm it at some level. Being creative means you are using your gift. Or not? Am I being controversial? Is creativity simply in the eye of the beholder? Doesn't every parent think their child is creative, whether they are or not, and will tell the child so? If no one recognizes you are creative, are you? If a tree falls in the woods and no one hears it, does it make a sound? Because we are time-bound creatures, it may be that our creativity is just not recognized in the moment or the decade. Examples abound. Let's talk about one of my favorites, Van Gogh, also referred to as Van Gogh, but that's not really correct. Well, people recognized his genius and creativity at the time, but they also knew that he was kind of troubled, and they also just weren't ready to pay for his paintings. Now they are, ridiculous sums of money. By the way, I have to say that one of the best museums I've been to, and I've been to a lot of them, was the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam, which is a relatively new one. If you're ever in that part of the world, you definitely should check that museum out. And another example, I have been reading Flannery O'Connor's collected letters in the book, A Habit of Being. You don't have to read long into it. And keep in mind, these are when she's young and she's not yet suffering from her infirmities. But you don't have to read many of them to see a few very clear things about her. She knew she was good. She also knew she was very slow in creating and that it frustrated people. She knew that her work was worth money. And she knew everyone didn't get her. And she wasn't that concerned about it. At least it doesn't seem so from the letters. She kept writing even when certain publishers turned her down. And that's why we keep doing whatever our creative thing is, even when we don't get recognized, even when we aren't as successful as we like. Because it's about more than just being recognized and being successful, whatever that means. Now, that introduction is to move us into a different theme on today's podcast. This podcast is about an organization and the lady behind it and some of the people involved, including me. It is about seeing creativity in something other than the arts, other than making money or being famous. It's about using creativity in serving a community. That organization is the Rabbit Valley Farmers Market, which operates May through early October on Saturday mornings, 9 to 1. Now, the first question is probably, where is Rabbit Valley? And I actually did not know until I was writing this podcast and decided I better try to figure it out. It's a little section of Ringgold, Georgia, kind of stuck between South Chickamauga Creek and Ooltewah Ringgold Road, or what is Route 151, I believe. And the market is pretty close to that, specifically down the street from Ringgold Depot. So what is the Rabbit Valley Farmers Market? I'm going to use their website here. It is a nonprofit, not a business, but it supports local small businesses. In fact, the website says, quote, "We formed our 501c3 organization in 2020 to revitalize the area following the effects of COVID-19. Our producer-only market," okay, that's the terminology that's used nowadays, "is located in downtown Ringgold and features sustainable farming practices and local artists. Join us in supporting the community and buying local." End of quote. The market is community oriented, so they have programs for youth vendors, they take SNAP and EBT, and they support local food banks through a program called Nourish North Georgia. One thing they do, and this is sponsored by the, I believe the phone company in Ringgold, that the children who come get some bucks that they can spend. And a lot of the vendors also use some sort of an exchange, but others just take money as well. Of course, that's what I do. And what I wanted to do was interview some of the folks involved in the Rabbit Valley Market and then finish up on my own. And then in a week or so, I'm going to bring on another local small farmer and a very creative musician to do the flip side of this idea of local artists, producers, and business persons. First, I spoke with a couple who are organic farmers in Catoosa County. You might not have known that there were any farmers much at all in Catoosa County, but there are quite a few. We are at the Rabbit Valley Farmers Market, and our next guest is
JC Lefebvre with Virginia Ann's Farm.
That's Virginia Ann's Farm, folks. You need to know about these folks. Okay, tell us what you do here.
We do all organic farming, produce and vegetables. We also have canned goods, freeze-dried, pet treats, and human treats, which include trail mixes, which is fruits and veggies, freeze-dried, the snack bar.
And they have some really delicious-looking pickles here.
Pickles just came in.
And let me say that I have bought their spring greens. They're delicious. They're not bitter. They're fresh. They're great. So you need to come down and try these folks out. So how long have you been coming to this market?
About 3 years, as soon as they opened.
Okay. And they've always been in this location.
Same location.
Yes.
So 9-1.
And how did you get into organic gardening?
His mom is actually a farmer, and so we started working with her to grow her farm. And once we got her where she needed to be, we started doing our own thing. So started doing all the produce. So we learned everything from her and just relayed it back to here.
Neat. That's so neat. And then you were telling me about the lack of pesticides.
Yeah, we don't use any pesticide sprays or nothing. We just do herbs as the pesticides. So we do basil, oreganos, thymes, anything that smells.
And that keeps the bugs off.
It sure does.
That's good to know. Do you use any sort of chemicals to help the things grow?
Oh, well, I do my own compost tea. So with all the cuttings from all the leaves, I put them in a bucket and I soak it in water and I irrigate air through it, and that turns it into this compost tea, and then I feed that back to the plant. So it gives it all the nutrients that it's taken out of the soil. So just put it right back in.
So this sounds kind of labor intensive, is it?
I have a schedule.
Okay, that's great to know. I do a little gardening and it is labor intensive sometimes, but And that's awesome. So you sound like a lady who really enjoys what she does.
I love what I do. This is the only job we have, so we do it all year round, 24 hours a day, all day.
Interesting. Even in the winter, yeah, you hear that, folks? Okay. So thank you for talking to us. And don't forget that Virginia Ann's Farm. Then I spoke to someone who also farms, but rather differently. She brings glorious flowers to sell. Another vendor at the Rabbit Valley Farmers Market is
Radonna Parrish, and I'm with Farm and Rock Orchard and Flower Farm.
Okay. And what do you sell here at the market?
Yeah. So I sell fresh cut flowers. We sell orchard products, which would include later in the season apples, pears, peaches. We have apple logs for grilling. Anything associated with the production of fruits, we try to leverage, what we've got. So, and I've been selling commercially this is my 4th year. So.
Hey, great. And she's got beautiful flowers here and they're nicely put out. And she's got sunflowers and what are some these other flowers?
So right now we do the blooms of the day, basically. So right now we've got blooming sunflowers. We're on the tail end of our snapdragons that were planted in the fall. We've got saffron. We've got snow on the mountain, buclorum. Our gladiolas are just now starting to bloom. So we generally plant in the fall as much as we can that are cold flowers, basically. Cool flowers is what they call it. So that we actually can start up selling April. We started this year because we planted tulips indoors. We were able to start at Easter. So I'm trying to push it back even a little bit more. And then we go all the way through October to the first frost. So, which sometimes we can stretch a little bit into November. So
how long have you been coming to this particular market?
This is, this my 4th year. I think this is my 4th year, maybe 3rd. I can't remember. Yeah.
And you do well here?
Yeah, do pretty well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's good because, Sam does a great job organizing and it's very, child focused, which is really nice. And so we try to, like for Mother's Day, we had a special table where kids decorated the sleeves and made their own little mini bouquets for their mom. And so we try to do things like that when it's, when it's appropriate. So
awesome. Okay. So again, the name of your company is
Farming Rock Orchard and Flower Farm. And we're located in Ringgold, Georgia.
Ah, very local. And that's what this market is all about. Local. So, and you need to support local and, get away from the big box stores.
And you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and, on both those sites, you can find my website. So
great. Thank you.
Thanks,
Radonna.
Bye-bye.
So we've heard from 2 folks who grow things. There's several farmers who sell meat. And there are usually a couple of street vendors or food trucks. They rotate, so it's not the same every week. But many of the folks are vendors and cottage industry producers. They make salsa, baked goods, and in one case, candied jalapenos, which might sound odd, but are delicious. We talked to Laura. Our next vendor is
Laura, the sweet jalapeno lady.
And tell us about your product.
They're candied sweet jalapenos. I've been making them for about 25 years, but it takes me 8 weeks to make them and to get them ready to be canned. And then, I do take around sample plates. So if anyone's interested in sample plates at work and put them in the break room, my number is 706-280-3646.
That's a really good, pitch there. Now let's talk about them. They are really good with crackers and cream cheese.
Yes, that's the way that I eat them, is with cream cheese and saltine crackers. But also they're really good with hot dogs, hamburgers, baked potatoes, steaks. They're good on everything. I even poured the juice on my toast for breakfast in the morning.
Wow. So you have been coming to this market for how long?
4 years now. I come every Saturday from 9 until 1 for the last 4 years. It starts May the 4th Mother's Day, and it goes through the middle of October. And there's a lot of vendors here. There's like 45 vendors.
Yes. And ever since I've been coming, Laura is always here in the same place. And she, I believe she does pretty well here.
Yes, I do. I love coming here. I look forward to it.
What do you like about this market?
I love all the people and the good variety and the great food, and the produce is wonderful. During the summer, they have great tomatoes from this little old man, about 90 years old, from Funnel Hill.
Yes, I've noticed that too, that this is not just a farmer's market. It is a market.
Right. That's right. It's a great place to come on Saturdays.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
We are talking to the proprietor of Bird Bones. Tell us about your product.
It's Jets. We make nutrient-dense bone broth and dog treats, as well as organ meat, chopped up organ meat that you can do as a food topper. And then we also do a fermented turmeric and ginger paste. It's anti-inflammatory. It's gut probiotics. It's really good for kind of all healing. It's the superfood of superfoods.
That's fascinating. I've never heard of that at all. So how long have you been in this business?
We just launched it. This is just our first market. Not this one, but the Rabbit Valley, where this is our first year. But I've been making these things for my dogs for years now. So really just making it for everybody else, since I already do it anyway.
How did you get into doing that?
I've been working with pets and nutrition my entire life. Probably about 20 years.
Oh, my.
Yeah. So, that's kind of my main focus. Nutrition for people and pets.
Okay. So this is a good example of the diversity of things that are sold here. It's not just, produce, or in my case, books, but it's bone broth, and it's bone broth for the dog treats, but also for humans.
Yes, we use it ourselves, but we can't market it for humans. So it's all human grade, but I don't have the license. So yeah. Yes, but I do love it.
Right. So essentially these are things for our pets. Okay. Do you have dogs?
4 dogs.
Oh, tell us about your dogs.
Oh, we have a 17-year-old, a 3-legged Italian Greyhound. Yeah, we have a 6-ish-year-old Italian Greyhound, and then we have 2 dogs that showed up last year on our doorstep. So they live with us now, and it's a Beagle Pit and a Anatolian Doberman.
Oh my, those are big dogs.
Tiny to big.
Okay. So you're into rescue dogs?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Spay and neuter.
Okay. Yes, I have 2 rescue dogs, and they get spayed or neutered as soon as I get them. Yeah. So you say this is your first year at the Rabbit Valley Market?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how does it go for you?
It's been going great. It's really nice to get out in this community. It's a really, really lovely bunch of people that come here and that, make this happen. So it's just nice to be here.
I agree. I've just enjoyed coming this year. I came a couple times last year, and I said, I'm going to keep doing this. Not because I necessarily sell a bunch of books, although I do more than if I weren't here, but because it's just cool. It's just neat. And today it looks like it's not going to rain for a while. Not like last week.
Yeah.
Yes. Did you get wet last week?
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah. I got a little wet even in there, and it's not good for books. So I guess for bone broth either. All right. So where is your business located?
We're just here in Ringgold, outside of Ringgold, right on Taylor's Ridge.
Oh, okay. Very good. And so the name of your company is
Bird Bones, and it's Bird Bones Broth. So you can find us anywhere online at Bird Bones Broth.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. These 3 vendors are pretty regular, and some of the other vendors come on a rotating basis. So you never know who's going to be there. Usually there are about 40 vendors. This year I am a vendor, having tried it last year for a couple weeks and saying, hey, this is cool. I want to keep doing this. So what do I sell? Well, books. my books. I realized a couple of weeks ago that some folks didn't realize I was selling my books, not just random books. But so now I'm a little more forceful about it. I'm a local or regional author, and these are my books. But what I'm really selling is an experience, the experience of reading, of meeting the author, of their being able to come back and talk to the author and get another book if they want, and related things. I do not sell my books at a high price. I'm doing this as much for the publicity and public relations right now as to make a lot of money. I do make a little bit, but not much. Really, I'm doing it also because it's kind of fun. I get to meet people for a few hours and find like-minded readers. If they aren't people who read my kind of stuff, I tell them up front, no dragons, fairies, witches, steamy sex, or bodice rippers. And if you're wondering what a bodice ripper is, that comes from those are romance novels for the past where the voluptuous woman has her clothes torn off or that kind of thing. If they don't read that, that's fine. But if they like regional fiction, family stories, and mysteries, hey, check it out. Many of the other vendors sell non-edible products, soaps, lotions, crafts, etc. Right now, I'm the only bookseller, and I hope that stays the way it is. Most of all, what I found there is a community. Laura with the candied jalapenos is sort of like the den mom, but there are other volunteers who help out and encourage. Last week, the day started with an horrendous storm, so there wasn't much clientele at first. It got better. This week, it might be busy, I hope. I want the last voice you hear from on this subject to be Sam, short for Samantha, who runs the whole effort. She's a farmer herself, and she's the brainchild and the engine behind it. She's always working behind the scenes and all during the market to make sure everybody's comfortable and it has what they want.
Now we're talking to Samantha.
Hi, how are you?
Samantha is the brains behind this organization. So tell us all about it.
It's a nonprofit farmers market. We're in our 4th season, and we are just here to try to get the community involved with the local food movement.
Great. And it's a fabulous community place. All the vendors come from where?
It's a producers only market, and everyone has to be everything has to be grown or made within 150 miles. So everything has to be local. And we've just launched a new program called Nourish North Georgia that has provided us with grant funding. So what we're doing today, for example, is we're going around and all of our farmers who have not sold out, we are buying out the rest of their produce, and then we're going to take it over here to the food pantry and donate it to them.
Okay. So folks, if you come to Rabbit Valley Farmers Market, you are helping the community and you're getting great produce. And I can say that because I buy it myself. So how did you get involved in this, Sam?
I just, during COVID, when the grocery stores were empty, I'm a farmer, so I had tons of food, and I have friends who are farmers, and we in a group chat talked about how we never had a successful farmers market here. And I just at 1 a.m. thought, maybe I'll just form one. And I incorporated it that night and then just started the legwork, and we opened up in 2021.
So this was a good thing that came out of COVID.
This is one of the great things that came out of COVID. Absolutely. And what we've been able to do is we've created a community center that has supported the farmers and supported the artists. And now we're trying to create an equitable food system through the Nourish North Georgia program.
Anything else you want to say?
No, get out and support your community and your farmers market, no matter where you live.
Thank you so much, Sam. And I really appreciate what you're doing here because you work and your family work so hard and you're so supportive of what I'm doing and what all these folks are doing here in the Rabbit Valley Market.
Thank you.
So folks, check the Rabbit Valley Farmers Market out and any other local farmers markets. I know there are many in the area. There's one in Port Oglethorpe. There's one in Ooltewah. and of course in Dalton, etc. I look forward to talking to you next time. Future guests will include a musician, a sculptor, some filmmakers who are planning a big event to honor a local filmmaker who is very well known, Jeff Burr, a naturalist who writes beautiful prose about his explorations, and I hope my pastor again. Talk to you next time.